Here we are. It's time for the 45-minute ghost workout. This is the one with all the moves, you guys. So it's the one that I like the most. I tend to enjoy the 45-minute versions of every workout series the most because it has all the cool stuff. Once again, we will be starting Circuit 1 with famous ghosts, after which there will be a water break and house hauntings, especially with poltergeists, and jump scares for Circuit 3. So start off with a mat, or maybe you have a carpeted floor. We'll be doing Pilates roll-ups, but coffin-style. So with your arms or your hands crossed over your chest. Ready and go! I know it's a very goth kind of warm up, but if you are working out after a long day or first thing in the morning, which is what I usually do, you might be feeling a little bit dead, so maybe this will help you feel like you are alive again. Alright, next is the swaying ball of light, just going back and forth in side lunges and pretending that you are smoothing over a ball between your hands. This is because some ghosts are said to appear as balls of light, especially in photographs taken randomly. Why some people appear as ghosts that look like people and why some are balls of light, I don't know. And Ouija board stretches. Basically, these are just triangle stretches, but I thought of them because of the planchettes that you use on Ouija boards to find out what letters you are supposed to put together as a ghost is talking to you. And it's 15 seconds on each side, so as you can see, I've switched over. Next up is the tiptoe walk. Some ghosts are very quiet and peaceful, and they are just hanging out, and they just like to do their own thing without disturbing others. So we are tiptoeing. Sometimes these ghosts also cause the creaky sounds on floorboards. You can tell that they're trying to be quiet and it's just not really working. But in any case, they're tiptoeing, so we're tiptoeing. Plus, it's a good way to warm up the legs. Now, as soon as my past self remembers, we are going back to coffin-style warm-ups, or roll-ups, I mean. Imagine in a zombie apocalypse or something, and you are rising from the grave, and you're like, wow, the very first thing that I have to do is exercise. I guess that's another good reason to be doing this. You know, you gotta prepare yourself just in case. Next, back to the swaying ball of light, gracefully back and forth. I'm not a super graceful person, but that's okay. This is just to warm up the legs and to nod at the ghosts that appear as balls of light instead of as people or other things. And we are back to the triangle stretches. 15 seconds on this side and then switching. I've said this in a couple other videos, but I'm interested in hearing stories about other people's experiences with Ouija boards if you have any that you would like to share. I haven't had the courage to try one before. Okay, and now we are back to the tiptoe walks. Not only is it fun, I think, to feel like you're sneaking around, but this is a very good warm-up for the legs, and there will be some jumping and hopping in this workout. In fact, there's jumping and hopping in a lot of my workouts just because I like it. So, definitely need to have your legs warmed up and ready to go. See how much preparation it takes to be a ghost? Man, you think that you're going to rest in peace, but nope. Nope, you gotta exercise. Okay, so first up will be military marches in honor of King Hamlet, who died in his armor because he was a military commander in addition to being a king. So kick up your legs, keeping them as straight as you can, and with your arms out as well. It's okay if your legs aren't perfectly straight, as you can see them. As you can see, mine are not. The point is just trying to reach your hand. And just getting as high as you can. You can also just lift your knees if you want. You don't have to hop. I love hopping. To me, it's fun. It keeps things interesting. And I like burning every single little calorie that I possibly can during a workout. And, just doing what I can to boost my metabolism, which plyos tend to be great for. Okay, next is side-to-side horse gallops with sword slashes. So, this is inspired by the Headless Horseman from the legend of Sleepy Hollow. You're going to be getting into the Headless Horseman's boots. Gallop from side to side. It's really more like a shuffle, and do horizontal sword slashes. The Headless Horseman lost his head during the Revolutionary War, or so the story goes by Washington Irving, who actually knew a soldier, or discovered a soldier, or heard about a soldier who that happened to. So he goes around, for some reason, cutting off other people's heads while searching for his own. I don't know how that's supposed to help anything. Maybe he's just hangry. I don't know. I mean, imagine that. You don't have a head, so you can't eat, and you can't find your head. I mean, that's bound to make you really hangry, right? Never mind the fact he's a ghost and would probably not be eating food anyway. I don't know, maybe ghosts do eat food. Subcultures leave out food for the dead on certain holidays. Anyway, moving on. Sailor/pirate jig. It's a squat, and then you hop up, or just come up, and you click a heel on one side and then the other with a rope. You kind of feel like you're dancing on the deck of a ship. So the Flying Dutchman, unlike in Pirates of the Caribbean, in real life it was a merchant ship that sunk during a storm. So now all those sailors are doomed to sail around together until their punishment is up, because supposedly they were guilty of something terrible before the ship sank. So it's a lesson to you all. Get along with your coworkers. You never know when you're going to be stuck as ghosts together. Next is the oblique hammer crunches, inspired by the Winchester House, which was owned by Sarah Winchester. She was a widow of a firearm magnate, and she just continuously added to it under the supposed direction of ghosts, even though a lot of the architecture doesn't really make sense. 24,000 square feet of house that doesn't make a lot of sense. Can you believe that? So, as you can see, hammer crunches are just lifting up a leg on one side of your body and then tilting your upper body toward that with your arms in the shape of a hammer. So, it's like you're a very giant hammer smashing a very giant nail. I love this one for the obliques. Plus, it's just fun because it's kind of bouncy. Next up is the thrust and parry, in honor of the man in gray, one of the most famous ghosts to haunt the Theater Royal in England on Drury Lane. So it's just a lunge forward, and then another lunge forward with an overhead parry. It's a fencing move because the man in gray is said to walk around with a powdered hair and a gray cloak and a sword at his side in a very gentlemanly sort of fashion. So I imagine he probably knew a thing or two about fencing. You can imagine that you're fencing with him, or that you are him fencing other people in just a nice friendly competition. And this is just basically cardio fencing. It's not, don't look to me for actual fencing techniques because I don't really know any. Okay, Next up is the squat and kick in honor of Joseph Grimaldi. He is another famous ghost of the Theatre Royal. He was very famous as an actor and an entertainer, and especially as a mime and a clown. So we're squatting and kicking to the front. The reason why we're doing that for Joseph Grimaldi is because he is said to be sort of a prankster ghost. I mean, he was a clown in life. So, and especially for actors who might need a literal kick in the pants, he'll kick you in the pants to kind of get you going and get you over your nerves, because I guess nothing does that. Getting kicked in the pants? I don't know. I don't feel as though that would actually help me out, but whatever. Maybe it works for some people. Next up, throws. These are basically going to be like baseball throws. This is for the Enfield poltergeist, famous for haunting a family in the 70s, and inspiration for The Conjuring 2. It's basically, just hop and bring your leg out for a lunge and twist like you're throwing a baseball. This is because the Enfield poltergeist is said to have to throw things at people. So the terror and torment upon the family that the poltergeist haunted is our cardio. Thank you, poltergeist. Just 3 more seconds of that. Okay, sorry about the abrupt break there. I had realized that I left out those throws, so I had to cut it in. Now we are going down to down dog with toe touches, inspired by the Bell Witch. So it's just, you've probably seen a down dog before. Keep your legs as straight as you can and then touch your toes. You should feel this in your abs and your arms and your legs. In your legs, it will probably feel mostly like a stretch. So the Bell Witch originally, according to legend, appeared to John Bell as a very strange, scary-looking dog. He tried to shoot it, but it did not die. This is said to be the beginning of the hauntings of the Bell Witch toward the Bell family in 1817. Okay. Now we are going to be swimming. So take out your mat again, if you have one. The Queen Mary is another ship that's sunk. That didn't sink actually, but it is said that it is haunted by 100 spirits, and some of them swim in the ship's pool. It's actually a hotel nowadays in Long Beach, California, so if you want to see if you can find the swimmers, if you can catch them in the act, that's where you'll want to stay. So with swimming, you might have done Superman's before or something similar, really just trying to keep your upper back and your upper body and your legs up off the floor. And doing the breaststroke, that's how I like to swim. And we are back to military marches for King Hamlet. And leg up, other leg up, and just keep going. You're going to see me start hopping. I like to hop again, so hop with me if you want to. If you did not hop last time, consider trying it out this time just to challenge yourself, if you can. I think you will find that it certainly keeps a workout from going stale if you if you hop or jump as much as you can. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that came out of my mouth. You know, it's one of those things where you start to say one word and then you just try to switch it to another word partway through, and then it comes out as something completely different. Wow. Yikes. Okay. Next is side-to-side horse gallops with sword slashes. Woo! Don't mind my dancing. I like dancing even though I'm not good at it. And gallop, gallop, slash. Gallop, gallop, slash. So, the Headless Horseman, I think I might have mentioned this already. The Legend of Sleepy Hollow was originally written by Washington Irving based on a legend that he heard, or a person or a soldier that he knew, who lost his head during the war. And it has been adapted many times. I'd like to know your favorite adaptation of the story, if you don't mind telling me. Alright, next up we've got the sailor/pirate jig again, in honor of the Flying Dutchman. So, there have been several sightings, supposed sightings of the Flying Dutchman. People on a beach said that they saw it, and I think it's somewhere in the 1800s, or actually I think it was in the 1900s, might have been in the 1950s. The captain of a ship says that they passed it, like almost collided with it. Imagine that you're on the sea and you come that close to a ghost ship. And if you wanted to know, supposedly sunk off the Cape of Good Hope during a storm. Okay, we are back to the oblique hammer crunches in honor of the Winchester House, this time, of course, doing the other side. So, the house, with 24,000 square feet, it's bound to have some pretty interesting rooms. For example, there is a ballroom in there, so if you wanted to reenact the scene from Anastasia during the song Once Upon a December, and you're a ghost, this would be probably be a good house to go and do that. And the ghosts are said to appear mainly as shadows around the house. If you have been there, or if you do go there, let me know if you see anything. Okay, we are back to the thrust in and parry for the man in gray. So, the man in gray is said to follow a certain path, starting at the end of the fourth row in the upper circle and ending at the royal box, and probably wasn't an actor, may have been a gentleman. He's harmless, so may not have been a violent person in real life, but apparently somebody did not like him. The remains of a man who was stabbed to death were found behind a passage, like in the walls of a passage, in 1848, and people believe that that is the source of the ghost of the man in gray. So who knows what really happened? Here's a question for you. If people did not know your name when you died, and so you were just, they gave you a name as a ghost, and it was a, man or a woman or non-binary, whatever, in color, what color would you want to be known for? Would it be gray? Would it be something else? Anyway, yes, as you can see, we are back to the squat and kicks for Joseph Grimaldi. He died around in London in 1837, so he's probably been haunting around then, which means that he probably died somewhere around the same time as the man in gray, maybe. wonder if they're friends. Do you think they're friends? There's a sitcom idea for you. We are back to throws, this time on the other side for the Enfield poltergeist. Again, sorry about the abrupt cuts. I just realized that I had forgotten about the throws, so I did them later. After I was done with everything else, I think. So, the Enfield poltergeist, it is one of the most famous hauntings in American history. And some of the in addition to throwing, the ghost is reported to have moved furniture around and knocked on things, and even started fires, or made pools of water appear. Like, this was apparently a big bother. If it was real, can you imagine how frustrating it would be to be with a ghost like that? Okay, now we are back to down dog with toe touches. So if you didn't know, the Bell Witch was the inspiration behind the Blair Witch Project film. And in fact, one of the characters is named John Bell. And John Bell is said to have been killed by the witch, or at least by her actions. And she might have also appeared as a half dog, half rabbit. Yikes. Now we are back to the swimmers of the Queen Mary. So again, I like to do breaststrokes. If you have a different kind of swimming move that you'd like to do and you can do it on your mat, you can. The point is just to honor the Queen Mary swimmers right now. Another famous haunting on the Queen Mary ship is stateroom B340. It's considered to be a really scary place to stay, probably one of the most haunted places. And supposedly it's because at least 47 people died on the ship while it was sailing. Oh, interesting. She also became known as the Grey Ghost. The ship did. I mean, what is it with gray and ghosts going together? It's almost like gray is a gloomy color or something. Okay, as you can see, we are halfway through a water break and dancing. So enjoy your water break. We are about to go house hunting. Get in, loser. We're going house hunting. First, will be creaky stair climbs. Can be a little hard on the knees, so I like to do it on a mat. Starting with the right leg. And this is basically just like a stair climb. If you've ever been on a stair climb at a gym, which is why if I'm not at a gym, which I'm usually not, or, I usually work at home, I think this is a great substitute for the stair climbing machine at home. Or if you don't eat, and also if you don't have stairs at your house. I do have stairs at my house, but people use them. So, and sometimes you hear odd creaking on stairs. That comes from sneaky ghosts, or ghosts that are trying to very discreetly scare you into leaving. Now, this is a not quite so discreet way of scaring people. Fast feet. You're going to be stomping and running around. Really freak out the fleshies in your house. find it easier to withstand the pain or the discomfort when I'm moving my arms around. And as you can see, I also like acting a little bit scary sometimes. Woo! Woo! As you can see, I really get into things. Anyway, you'll be doing this move for just 3 more seconds. And done. Okay, and in 20 seconds we will be opening upper and lower cupboards. This is another famous act by ghosts when they are haunting a place, maybe trying to scare or annoy you enough to make you leave. So squat, twist your arm, and back up, hop to the other side. You can see how it's done. So first you're opening the lower cupboard and then the upper one in quick succession, because you have to be fast before the mortals come back into the kitchen. Squat down as low as you can. You should definitely feel this in your legs and your obliques. And if you want to try opening cupboards this quickly, just like this in real life, please make a video for me. Okay, now it's time for more aggressive ways of getting people out of your house so that you can haunt it in peace. Lunges, lunging forward and then pushing your arms out. Keeping your knees at a 90-degree angle above the floor so that you don't hurt your knee by letting it hang over your toes. So, this is another common and especially scary thing that some people have reported experiencing in a haunted house. Being pushed, even downstairs. We joke about it for the purposes of this workout, but honestly that's pretty dangerous. So if you ever become a ghost, maybe consider not pushing people, especially downstairs. Then you'll just create more ghosts, and then they'll have to haunt that same place with you probably, and I mean that defeats the whole purpose of trying to get them out. Next is the moving/shuffling chair. You're going to jump forward and shuffle back in chair position, because this is another good way to try and freak people out, so that they will leave your space. Move chairs around. Now you can either move them around when they're just in the same vicinity so that they'll notice and be creeped out, or you can move it out of the way just when they are trying to sit down, and then they will hurt their butts. And even if they don't leave, you can at least feel satisfied that you have severely inconvenienced them. And we are shuffling back because I think it's pretty easy for people to lose their balance if you jump back, especially in that position. Alright, so moving the chair didn't work, right? So now we're going to overturn the table. Basically, you're going to be in plank position and then twist yourself around. Just like that. And it's the kind of plank, it's sort of a bare plank, but your body's shaped like a table, so. And we'll just do one side for now. You'll do the other side when we repeat the circuit. And I don't know about you, but I mean, a moving chair is one thing, even if it does make me fall on my butt. Seeing a table flip on its own, seemingly on its own, that might be enough. That probably would be enough to get me running out of a house if the chair wasn't enough. But speaking of chairs, we are now taking out the mat. We're going to be doing a rocking chair because as many horror stories and books have revealed, there's something incredibly creepy about an empty rocking chair creaking back and forth. Your body should feel like it's in the shape of a C, roughly, and you're just rocking back and forth. I like to do a hip lift just for a little extra ab work. You don't have to if you don't want to. You should still feel this one somewhat in your abs. But it's also a less strenuous move than a lot of the others, so it's almost like an active rest. You're welcome! I guess that's fitting because oftentimes rocking chairs are used for rest, right? Just a couple more. Oh, rocking chairs, a symbol of peace and tranquility and warmth and parenthood, being used for nefarious purposes like haunting. It's a shame, but that's okay because it gives us something to do in our workout. Creaky stair climbs, starting with the left leg this time, or whichever leg you did not start on last time. So tell me if you have ever heard creaking on floorboards or steps or anything else that you felt like could not be explained by things like a house settling. And if you think that it was a haunting, who do you think was haunting you and why? Did you do any research on the house or wherever you were at the time? Did you find out whether there's a reason to think that somebody might want to stay there? Okay, next up we've got fast feet again. Making a little more noise this time. I feel like for a ghost or a poltergeist, this move would probably be especially effective in an attic, because it can be heard throughout the whole house. And because the floorboards are probably especially squeaky up there, so even if it doesn't scare people, at least irritate them. Yeah, don't be afraid to make some noise. You can be creepy and annoying all at the same time. I believe in you. Okay, next up. Opening the upper and lower cupboards again. Tell me, if you were a ghost, do you think that you would be the kind to haunt people by opening cupboards and drawers and things like that? Would you try to be passive-aggressive about scaring people? Or would you go straight for, more direct methods? I guess maybe it depends on why you're a ghost and how you want to spend your afterlife. Do you just want the peace and quiet of being by yourself? Or maybe with a few other select ghosts? Or do you see ghosthood as a great opportunity for bugging and tormenting people you dislike? Well, now we are back to lunges with pushes. Regardless of what kind of ghost you might be, chances are there are certain people you would not want in your space, so you're going to push them out now. And go. Let me hear you grunting. You really got to push hard. Fleshies weigh a lot more than you because they have bodies, like actual bodies, not spirits made out of ectoplasm. I imagine that ectoplasm is very lightweight. So, push hard! Harder! Harder! You can do it! You can do it! You're almost there! Okay. We are back to the moving/shuffling chair. Because they're still not out. Or maybe there are new fleshies here. Get ready. Jump forward in chair position and shuffle back. Here we go. Here's a question. If you were going to move around a chair, do you think that it would be like a dining room chair? Or do you think you might go for something heavier, like a recliner or even a couch? Just totally mess up the arrangement in the living room. Oh, can you imagine? Alright, now we are back to the overturning table. And you know, usually when I think about an overturning table, I think about like a dining table, or maybe even a coffee table, something like that. But do any of you have like a workbench or a craft table or something similar? Remember, you're doing this on the other side now. I think that if a ghost really wanted to chase you out, they would pay attention to the tables where you keep all your most important things. If you work from home, like your office desk, you might try to turn those over, smash all your crafting supplies, your tools, your computers, everything. Your books will get all bent out of shape. There are lots of ways to haunt if you're creative enough. Okay. We are back to the rocking chair. I do wonder, I don't know, with rocking chairs being used mainly for nurturing in some way, or just for relaxation, I wonder what exactly it is about a rocking chair moving seemingly on its own that is so scary and terrifying. I don't know. I mean, other than the fact that, you know, anything moving seemingly on its own would be terrifying. If you think you have a theory as to why the rocking chair specifically seems to be a popular way of scaring people, let me know. What is so scary about that specifically? Okay, now we are moving on to the jump scare circuit. That's right, 8 minutes of jumping. So first squat, and then jump up, touch the floor if you can, and still try to keep your knees at roughly a 90-degree angle if you can. Get your butt down. And boom! And boom! I like to imagine that for this move, I'm jumping up and scaring somebody from behind a couch or a table or a dresser or better, something like that. Something that you can hide behind. And then when your prey arrives, boom! Boom! Yeah! So scary. Good job. Next up will be shuffle jumps. Basically, the shuffles will be like sneaking around. Sometimes you have to be very sneaky to properly scare somebody, because the element of surprise is key. Follow them around in a very sneaky way, and boom, and boom. Let me hear you shout it, boom! Shout it, boom! Try to scare me, or try to scare whoever's in your home while you're working out. See if you can freak them out. Yeah, boom! Or yell, surprise! Or hello! Hello! My name is Indigo Montoya! Oh man, can you imagine Inigo Montoya as a ghost? I need that story. Okay, next up will be long jumps. So here's where your prey is a little distance away and you want to just appear beside them. Jump and rawr! Ah, boom! Yeah, boom! Boom! And just keep going. just keep going. Because I promise you, you are as scary as you want to be. Do you want to be even scarier than you are now? This is how you do it. You jump. You jump. And you shout. And you grunt. And you sweat. There you go. And next up will be stiff arm burpees. I love burpees, but I especially love what ghosts these are for. This is for those ghosts that hide under couches and beds and threaten to grab your ankles when you walk by. First they're under, and then they go, "Ha! Here I am! And signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours, or rather, you're mine." I wonder, how common is it? I mean, I've heard a lot of people say that they experienced that weird sensation that something was going to grab them when they walked by a bed or a couch. But how universal is that? Let me know if you've experienced that or if you haven't. I want to know. Okay, back to the top of the circuit. The squat jumps. We are just a few minutes away from the end of this workout, guys. Down, up, squat, scare, squat, scare. Yes, yes. You are doing it. You are scary and getting scarier with every passing second, with every jump, with every drop of sweat. When it is time for you to go to the afterlife, you are going to be the best ghost ever because you are preparing yourself right here and right now. This is where you're supposed to be. This is what you're supposed to do. And stop! We are back to the shuffle jumps, or the sneaky jumps, if you please. Now, what are you sneaking behind? Are you scaring joggers out on the paths, so you're sneaking behind bushes? Or maybe in a church and you're sneaking behind the pews? Boo! And boo! Or maybe you are the reason why Humpty Dumpty fell off a wall, because you were sneaking behind the wall and then you went boo! Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men did not know that there was a ghost involved. And boom! You're almost there. Ah! Yes! Okay. We got the long jumps again. Keep shouting boo. Sometimes, as with martial arts or boxing, giving a little shout can somehow be motivating. It helps you get the power out. But if you don't want to shout, then cackle. Laugh maniacally. You are a ghost. Act like one. You are so close. So close. Just keep going. Boo. Try this one out on your neighbors or on, I don't know, people you don't like. Guilt-free scaring. Actually, I would still feel guilty. Okay. Finally, we've got burpees. This is the last move of the workout, guys. You are so close. And you are not allowed to rest under that couch or that bed right now. The time for laying down and lazily grabbing every ankle that grabs by is not here yet. This is time to work. This is time to scare the pants off people. So you hide and you scare. You hide and boo! You are the scariest ghost of the nighttime hours, those wee hours when people get up to use the bathroom or get a drink of water or investigate a weird noise. You can do it! You are that ghost! Yes, you are! Yes! Yes! Yes, you are the scariest ghost. The scariest. I just know it. Great job. You have proven it. You are ready to go haunt people right as soon as you stretch. First I'm doing the down dog, and back to the Bell Witch. Because even the Bell Witch needed to rest sometimes. And next up will be the triangle stretches. Speaking of triangle stretches and ouija boards, are you dead? Speak to me. Speak to me. Tell me you're not really crossing over to the afterlife just yet. Maybe you do feel like dying after this workout. That's okay. I probably felt that way too. I mean, I was recording these in the summer heat. Now we're back to the swaying balls of light. Nice and slow and lazy. Tiptoeing and quad stretches. And you did it! You did it! Let me know if you're still alive. And then like and subscribe. Thank you!